I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you.
Cannes, the world's premier celebration of the artistic medium of film. And the boulevard of broken dreams for many cinematic hopefuls, but more on that later. Anybody who's anybody in movies holidays on the Croisette in May. Like Spike Lee, who in 1999 was premiering Summer of Sam. And there's Hugh Hefner, visiting Cannes for the first time in 30 years, to almost everyone's delight. And there's Dolphin Man. And Sergeant Kabuki Man. So glad you could make it. And then there's me. I arrived with roughly 40 interns, 10 culinary students, and 10 returning filmmakers to provide English language hospitality in the American Pavilion. After a hearty breakfast of stale baguette, it was off on a 6-mile hike up the beach to the famed Palais, where this year, returning favorites like Catherine Deneuve would accompany a bunch of average-looking composers and directors of photography up the red-carpeted steps. Everyone is glamorous here, even the bums. Roger Ebert was here, and bereaved over the loss of his longtime partner Siskel, launched a tirade against MIDIC, an international business group pushing for digital projection. Ebert insisted that it would put people in a trance. I hooked up Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob fame with this girl one night on the beach during the Blair Witch premiere party. They reportedly played with Legos and cuddled. I shook Jim Jarmusch's hand. I stood next to Salma Hayek at a cocktail party. And I screened my amateur films to my peers from NYU, UCLA, and that arty college in Boulder. I was clearly out of my league, but I had some grasp on pacing and editing. People were really into the eerie infrared of my Tyco toy cam, but when I pitched my idea for a silent series to Miramax, they weren't as impressed. 1999 was a big year at Cannes. David Cronenberg headed the jury with Jeff Goldblum and Holly Hunter at his side. Many eagerly anticipated Tim Robbins' directorial debut with Cradle Will Rock, or the unassuming departure for David Lynch, The Straight Story. My first experience in the 6-story, 2,500-capacity Palais Theater was Leo Carax's Pola X, which was the subject of some controversy because of its graphic portrayal of incest starring Gerard Depardieu's son Guillaume. But, as the house lights came up, delegates removed their translation headphones and the credits rolled. I was shocked. The audience stood and booed the director as his name crossed the screen, then applauded the cinematographer and composer. The crowd politely read all of the credits, applauding or booing each significant contributor to the film's successes and failures. I was overwhelmed, and I felt very important to be somehow a part of it, aspiring to affect an appreciative audience so deeply myself someday. It turns out Pola X was an anomaly. It was over a year old to French audiences who were elated that the other official selection for competition from France, Rosetta, won the Palme d'Or. It was met with about as much enthusiasm as the special screenings of Ron Howard's Ed TV or of Entrapment in recognition of Sean Connery's lifetime achievements as a cinematic actor. Up the beach a stretch, adult film star Jenna Jameson was receiving her Lifetime Achievement Award, the Hot d'Or. This is Jolt Gaspar. He had really hoped to get into the Hot d'Ors. And here's Morgan. He really wants to be a film critic. And Scott. He had a really big crush on Sarah Jo Marx. Got drunk and peed his pants to demonstrate his love. We spent a lot of time gabbing at our residence after our hard work assignments. I was a courier for Midnight Express. I helped Steve Zemetko, host of E! Entertainment Television's Talk Soup, send some flip-flops and perfume to Greg Louganis. Jolt had just entered the exciting world of digital video, and most of these kids were working on Avid's, Premiere, or Final Cut Pro. I was sporting a broken down demonstration model VHS-C I'd picked up for $20 from the photo lab where I worked. The picture quality is so bad in the dark, I'm pretty embarrassed of the footage. So, I decided to put some of the intern's snappy patter over the actions of real can bigwigs.
Yeah, snarfing the table.
We know what the synopsis is.
Please don't whine.
It came out early at the festival, and it said 70% of the films at this festival blow.
Nothing fun.
I agree. Although I didn't see 70% of the films.
Just got, let's see.
And the percentage of films that I saw didn't blow. But in general.
All the films I saw sucked. And they were all porn.
Make love on the camera.
They're stronger than Altoids, man.
This is quality. This is quality.
You gotta turn it down. You're too loud for everybody.
Who's gonna let you give them head? I don't. That's pussy, really. That's the thing.
Just say something really misogynistic for me.
There's nothing worse than stanky hoes.
That's an interesting comment. Can I bring that up to the board?
What did you say?
I swear to God, the girls here don't put out, even when we do them favors. We put them up for the night and they can't even like, give me our hand. It's the downfall of modern society.
What's thank you?
I mean to avenge myself upon you, Admiral.